Have you ever wondered how giant companies figure out who gets the big promotion and who doesn't? Well, a lot of the time it comes down to a surprisingly simple tool, the 9-box grid. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and dig into exactly how it works and, more importantly, why it matters.
I mean, it's the million-dollar question for any company, right? How do you look at a whole team of talented people and actually pinpoint who's got what it takes to lead the company into the future? It's a massive puzzle, and if you get it wrong, it can be an incredibly costly mistake.
And that really brings us to the heart of the matter, the talent puzzle. Just think about it. Every single day, in companies all over the world, managers are making these huge calls. Who gets the promotion? Who gets sent on that special development program? Who are we grooming for a senior role? The challenge isn't just making these decisions, it's making them with some kind of real data, not just a gut feeling.
So, how do you bring some actual structure to all this? Well, that leads us right into our next section, mapping the grid. So, the 9-box grid, which was made famous by firms like Gartner, is really just a talent management framework. Its entire purpose is to help you visualize and categorize your employees in a way that makes your talent strategy, well, clear and actionable. And it's all about plotting people on two very simple axes. Okay, the first axis is performance. You can think of this as the what. It's all about the results you can actually see and measure. Did you hit your targets? Did you deliver on your projects? It's a look backward, really, at what someone has achieved in the job they're in right now. And then you have the second axis, potential. And if performance is the what, potential is the what's next. This is a forward-looking guess. Does this person have the ability, the drive, the agility to grow into bigger, more complicated roles later on?
So, here's the most important part. You have to understand this distinction. Performance is all about what you've already done. Potential is about what you are capable of doing. They are not the same thing at all. And the real power of the grid is that it forces managers to evaluate them separately.
And here you can see how it all snaps together. We've got performance running along the bottom, low, medium, high, and we've got potential going up the side. Where those two things intersect, boom, you get 9 different boxes. And each one of those boxes represents a completely unique talent profile. So now let's meet the players. We're going to decode this grid and take a look at the different kinds of archetypes that pop up. Let's start right at the top, shall we? The top right corner. This is where you find your consistent stars. These are your high-performance, high-potential people, the ones that pretty much everyone agrees are the future leaders of the organization. Yep, these are your rock stars. They absolutely crush their current role, and they show every single sign of being able to handle way more. So what do you do with them? You don't just leave them alone. You give them stretch assignments to actively get them ready for those bigger roles that are coming their way. Now this is where the grid gets really, really useful. You've got your future star on one hand, tons of potential, but maybe their performance right now is just fine. On the other hand, you have the high professional, an absolute top performer who might not want or be right for a bigger job. Both are incredibly valuable, but you can see how promoting the wrong one could be a disaster. They need totally different career plans. This one is always so fascinating, the diamond in the rough. You can just see the massive potential in this person, but for whatever reason, the results, they're just not there yet. Maybe they're new to the job, or maybe they're in the wrong role completely. The key here is you don't give up on these people. And then we have to go to the total opposite corner of the grid, the bottom left. This is the toughest category, often labeled derailed. This is someone who has consistently low performance and, at least in the eyes of their manager, not a lot of potential to move up in the company. And the guidance for this box is incredibly direct and honestly pretty difficult. The source material says you need to consider reassignment to a more appropriate position or exit options. So yeah, the grid doesn't shy away from forcing those really tough conversations. Okay, so we've met all the players, but just putting a label on somebody's pretty useless without a plan, right? Which brings us to our next section, from grid to action. Because the whole entire purpose of doing this exercise is to translate where someone lands on the grid into a real, actual, personalized plan for them. It's all about answering the question, okay, this is where you are, so what are we going to do about it? Let's go back to our diamond in the rough. The action plan here isn't to get rid of them, it's to develop them. So first, you keep working with them in their current role, but you also start thinking, hey, is there another job, maybe a sideways move, where all that high potential could finally be unlocked? The grid gives you a playbook. All right, let's wrap this up with our final section. What's your next move? Let's zoom out and look at the big picture and ask why this little grid has become so powerful. When you get right down to it, the grid really matters to two groups of people. For managers, it's a tool that helps them move past just, "I like this person," and toward making more objective, structured decisions about talent. And for employees, it's like a map. It's a way for you to see what your organization really values if you want to grow.
But really, its greatest strength might be that it creates a shared, common language. Suddenly, everyone from HR to frontline managers can have a consistent, strategic conversation about their most important asset, which is, of course, their people.
But a tool is only ever as good as the conversation it starts. It's a snapshot. It's a single frame in the very long movie of someone's career. And that leaves us with one final, pretty important question. Can a simple grid with just 9 boxes ever truly capture the messy, complex, and often surprising reality of human potential?